to the Milwaukee Show, and today we're, of course, talking about the Chicago Blackhawks and their season preview. And now this is a team that has a lot of excitement to them, but nowhere near should you have high expectations for this team. You should expect them to be once again at the very, very bottom of the league, because when it comes to scoring goals, last season, worst in the NHL. Bottom, literally the worst with only 202 goals. When it comes to defense, horrendous. Goaltending, probably the worst tandem in the NHL. This team's got nothing good going for them when it comes to winning. But when it comes to having hope for the future, this team, and I know you already know this, has it. As they had Connor Bedard, as we all know, at the draft, and they add the greatest player probably after Connor McDavid. And this team has a lot of hope here. Because with Connor Bedard, Connor McDavid in his first season got 48 points. His second season, he got 100 points. With Connor Bedard here, we could expect him playing with Taylor Hall, playing with Taylor Radish, the two Taylors on this team, or that's who I would put him with. I would expect him to be able to feed those guys the puck, and especially with Taylor Hall, of all people, being the former Hart winner, playing with the New Jersey Devils. I think Taylor Hall thrives better when he has, something to prove and on a bad team, and I feel like that's when he is at his best. And with the Blackhawks here showing, hey, Connor Bedard, I used to be you, let me help you be that guy, and those two feeding the puck to each other, I could easily see Connor Bedard getting to 25 goals after being helped by what Taylor Hall can do. And Taylor Radish, he's 25 years old. He got 37 points last year, 20 goals. The guy can help him out too. Not bad at all. So Radish and Hall helping out Connor Bedard, and Bedard helping them is going to be, I think, it's not going to be electricity, but it's going to be something to see. So Bedard, I expect him to get at least, I could see 25 goals. I don't think that's absolutely insane to think about. 25 goals and 50 points with Hall on his lineup? That should be doable. After that is where things really fall off. Lucas Reichel, Philip Khrushchev, those guys are nice to look at, right? 23-year-olds, 21-year-old, respectively. Khrushchev got 25 points last year. He's still kind of finding his way in the NHL. Reichel, though, 15 points in 23 games played. That isn't bad at all. That's almost a point per game. And so Lucas Reichel, another, someone that you could kind of crazily seeing being whoa, being like a Barrett Hayton almost, where he gets to 40 points this season, and he's kind of one of those underrated rookies. I know Hayton doesn't technically count as a rookie anymore, but you can see what I mean. One of those, no one's really paying attention to him kind of guy. So Reichel, and only 21 years old, great. At Fantasy U, a veteran in the NHL, 40 points last season. I think he's a solid guy to fix these kind of players up with. He's got the hands, he's got the nice skill that he can work off of those guys, maybe get a couple more goals generated there. Dickinson, Donato, Johnson, nothing special. This team's got to fill out the line somehow. Ryan Donato, 27 points last year with the Kraken, nothing special. Jason Dickinson, 30 points, veteran third liner, whatever. Tyler Johnson, same thing, 32 points. It doesn't matter, right? These guys are on the team because Chicago's got to fill out a 23-man roster, and this is what they've got. Nick Foligno and Corey Perry on the fourth line are the guys they added this offseason, and I like the idea because I really love what the GM of the Chicago Blackhawks has done. Because he knows that they are not a winning team yet, right? He knows, this isn't the year where, we got Bedard, start building up the team. He's I know we're not good. So let's add a couple more guys like Nick Foligno, like Corey Perry, and we can pay Corey Perry $4 million for a year. It's not like we've got they get $17 or $12 million to spend. So it's not like they're needing to look for money to spend on guys. So Corey Perry, sure, throw him some money. He's a veteran. He deserves it. And make this team a little bit more competitive, but they're not going to win any games still, right? But it just makes them a little bit more respectable, a little bit more, go from like 30, what was it, like first in the NHL, maybe they get to 28th, they win, instead of 26 games, they can get to that 30 mark, right? Like win a couple more of those games with guys like Corey Perry and Nick Foligno. And Gutman in the middle there, 24 years old, kind of whatever. I mean, he got 14 games in last year with only 6 points, so who cares? He could turn into something, could not turn into something. It could go either way. It doesn't really matter. And then for defense is where things, once again, just stay interesting with Korchinski and Vlasic. Korchinski especially. He's a huge prospect. And I don't know if he'll be NHL ready, but because of how bad this team is, you're not going to keep him in the CHL again. So do you put him in the AHL? I would probably guess that's where he ends up, but you can imagine him kind of playing up here with Seth Jones. It could not work out, and they put a different guy in there. So I guess it really depends on if he works out with the team or not. With how bad this team already is going to be, I would probably say give him the NHL time, give him some more experience, but guess we'll see what happens. Seth Jones, 12 goals, 37 points last year, one of the worst defensemen in the league, and that's all I got to say about that. Jared Tenorti, Zaitsev on the bottom line. Big deal because Tenorti, Vlasic, the 6'6 guys, they've got the size on their side for the Blackhawks. Murphy, just a whatever defenseman, 13 points last year. Once again, like Chicago, this team is not going to be very competitive. This team is not good at all. Like they've got a lot of hope. They've got a lot of bright spots, but just not bright enough spots to be like, wow, this team can actually go somewhere. And then in net, Mrazek and Soderblom, both of them with goals against average in the high threes. Well, I guess Soderblom's almost in a half, so I guess that technically isn't, but not good. And then below 900s when it comes to save percentage. It's just not good enough, right? Chicago is just not good enough to go anywhere. Even if Connor Bedard gets 100 points this season, I think this would be a scenario with, like, Connor McDavid, where it's like no matter how many points he got the first, 5 years of his career, it didn't matter. Like, the Oilers were not touching the playoffs. So, for me, Chicago, just overall, offensively, not good. Bedard, Hall, Radish, I love the line. I think it could work out very well. Radish, I could easily see going from 37 points to getting up to maybe 50. I mean, that's only 13 more points than 37. I think he can get 13 extra points with Taylor Hall and Connor Bedard easily. Bedard, comparing him to Connor McDavid, and I would say McDavid, I mean, I guess McDavid did have Hall on the team. Did he? I guess it doesn't matter. But with Taylor Hall, Connor Bedard, I think Hall's going to definitely bounce back after 36 points. So, to me, the team, as I've said, the running theme is that they've got some nice highlights, but they're just not going to be that good. Once again, they don't need to be. This team, could you imagine if this team is absolutely horrendous again and Bedard only does get to 50 points? Let's say this whole top line only gets 50 points. What if Radish and Hall don't get that much better and they go from 36 and 37 to only 50 and Bedard gets to 50 and wins the Calder, right? That happens, and they're still 27th in the NHL, probably worse than that, and then they get in the draft lottery and they get the fifth overall pick. I would say that's what this team needs, and guys like Nazar down in the juniors still, there are other top prospects. They got a lot of them. They loaded up at this draft. And wait for those guys to be a little bit more NHL ready and start backing them up in the years to come. So this is not the year to have expectations. This is the year to be looking for the coming attractions. Reichel, Kurashev, Bedard. These guys are going to start going up and up and up, right? I mean, there's only really way to go up. Korchinski, Vlasic, are they NHL ready? Can they get going? I think they probably can. In net, is Elmer Soderblom able to take over and show that he's got some finesse to him for the future? And so for Chicago, you need to be hopeful, but you cannot have expectations. It's going to be exciting. This team is going to finish at the bottom of the league again, but that's a good thing. It'll be a fun year because you're going to get to see what Bedard can do and what he has in store for us. And then next season, start building. Next season, start giving Bedard, put Radish down on the second line, and get him a guy like maybe Patrick Kane does come back to this team and he plays with Bedard. I know there's rumors that he's going to Detroit, but I think it could still open to Chicago. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see what happens there. But anyways, that's all I got to say. Chicago, bad team, but a lot of it exciting things to see from them. And other than that, I've got nothing else to say. So thank you very much for watching this. If you enjoyed, please, I'm begging you, pick up your free subscription. And until next time, too sweet, have an amazing day. And ta-ta for now.